I found out on a Wednesday afternoon, the kind of news that rearranges rooms. I sat inside my car for 40 minutes, replaying everything and what was in it. And by the time I walked back through the doorway, something in me had already let go halfway. And not because the damage wasn't real, not because I knew what holding grudges steal. And you never saw the war I fought inside. You never watched me choose the higher side. You just showed up and found me at the table, calmer than I had any right to be able. I forgave you before you asked, before the apology, before you made it last, before you found the words that cleared your throat, before you wrote the message that you almost wrote. I sat alone and let the anger burn to nothing. I chose myself over the comfort of resenting. I forgave you before you asked, and that might be the bravest thing I've ever done, or the last. You expected walls when you came back to face me, expected me to make it hard and make it lengthy. But I had already walked through every corner of what you did and came out slightly shorter. Not smaller, just less full of what you'd taken. I'd already grieved the trust before it wakened. And forgiveness isn't saying that it's fine. It's releasing what you did from living in my spine. And I want you to understand something clearly. Forgiveness wasn't weakness, it was costly dearly. I paid for it in sleepless nights and journal pages, in conversations with myself across the ages. I forgave you before you asked, before the apology, before you made it last, before you found the words that cleared your throat, before you built the courage for the note. I sat alone and let the anger burn to nothing. I chose my peace over the comfort of resenting. I forgave you before you asked, and not for you, I did it for myself at last. Some people carry what was done to them like luggage through every room and every new beginning's courage. I understand that I have held things things too, but this particular weight I couldn't walk through. So I put it down beside a highway somewhere between who I was and who I needed to get there. And I kept walking lighter than I'd started, with something like relief inside my broken hearted. Forgiveness is the strangest kind of power. It doesn't make the wrong thing right, not even for an hour. It doesn't mean you stay on that they've earned it. It doesn't mean the lesson wasn't learned yet. It means you love yourself enough to free you from dragging what they did wherever life might lead you. And sometimes the most radical thing you do is soften when the world expects the heart from you. I forgave you before you asked, before the apology, before you rehearsed last, before you even knew that I had heard it, before you built a case for why you did it. I sat alone and chose the harder healing. I chose to live instead of staying bleeding. I forgave you before you asked, not because you deserved it, because I did. Caution.